Ladies and gentlemen, the broadcast you're about to hear is fictional, and any resemblance to individuals living or dead is purely coincidental. Well, maybe some of it is fictional, and the other parts are just kind of surreal. The part about the Martians landing in Grover's Mill, South Carolina? That's not real. And the bit about the big silver spaceship with laser shooting tentacles? That's not real. And the thing about Jay-Z jumping out of the spaceship and singing the Candyman, that's... Oh, man! That's not real. I was hoping to see that. It's the Not Too Late Show, featuring our very special guest star, Marco Polo. Yay!
I just want nothing from the humans of Earth.
Well, hello everyone. This is Henry L. smoking hot demand, and here we are with our second edition of the new Not Too Late Show. That's hard to say, isn't it? Broadcasting to you from the third floor of the Supper Club in Beverly Hills, California. We may be new, but we still can be found in some of the old locations. And I have with me here Carrie Kaufman.
Hello, hello, hello.
Carrie would like to say a thing or two about the show and its peripherals.
All right. Well, if you're listening to us now, you're either on nottoolateshow.com or you're watching us or listening to us on YouTube/NotTooLateShow, or you're listening to us on TFOK. Or some other ways you can find us is on our Twitter account, twitter.com/NotTooLateShow or facebook.com/NotTooLateShow. Are we seeing a pattern here? I hope so, because there is a pattern here. One other way you can talk to us is at Carrie Kaufman or at @Not2Late Show, and that's how you talk to Hank DeMond.
Oh, yes, not the number 2. Right. Well, no, it is. It's not two. NOT, the number 2 Late Show, and that's the Twitter account. That's my special Twitter account.
You're so special.
Well, thank you, Carrie. That was awesome. Ideally, I would use this time to talk about a book I've read, but I can't seem to finish any of them lately. I can't even finish the good ones.
But you got like a whole smorgasbord sitting in front of you at home.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
That's your loss. Well, maybe Phil Collins can come on the show, and we can have him talk about the Alamo. Or
we could have Fess Parker come on, and he can play the drums.
Seriously, Phil Collins released a book last year. It was about the Alamo.
Well, maybe we can have him on the show for a small fee.
Hey, that would be fun. I'm still working on Rush Limbaugh, too. All right, so is it time for another edition of Only Jerks Hate History?
Yes, indeed, it is time for another edition of Only Jerks Hate History. And so let's call up our special guest. Coming all the way from Inner Mongolia, we have Marco Polo. Why don't you have a seat there, Marco? So how you been?
Let me tell you, I just flew in from Mongolia, and the boy, my arms, they are tired.
Yeah, I bet that's quite a trip you made. I heard you actually held court with Genghis Khan. So tell me, is it pronounced Genghis or Genghis?
Yes.
You're a lot of help.
I think Genghis, it means the king most high. And the Genghis, it means that you smell like a fart.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Okay. That could be a bad mix-up.
I got to tell you, though. You call Genghis Khan, you call him something he don't like, you'll get taken to the cleaners.
What do you mean by that?
You ever hear of a permanent press? Well, that's how you end up, you get the wrong name.
I understand your trip to Asia is all documented in your book, The Travels of Marco Polo, the Venetian. I'm really glad you titled it that, because I wouldn't have wanted to mix it up with The Travels of Marco Polo, the Scotsman.
Oh, yeah. He never made it out to the first of fifth. He come in a second.
So where can we find this book?
Yes, to find it, you got to go to Amazon.
Oh, so the book is on Amazon.com.
No, a bunch of them big-eyed monkeys stole my only copy and took it to the Amazon rainforest. If you can find it, I'll let you have the book for free.
Well, all kidding aside, your book has been printed all over the world. You were one of the first literate Westerners to document some of the happenings along the Silk Road and in Asia, and that's quite a feat.
Well, Thomas Aquinas, he was unavailable.
Okay, Marco, are you ready to play this week's edition of Only Jerks Hate History?
Sure, why not?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and faithful listeners, it's time for another edition of Only Jerks Hate History. We don't try to win prizes. We don't take points away for losing. It's just one big history love fest. Sidekick Carrie finds random questions on the internet, and Hank and a weekly contestant attempt to answer them. Hank has no knowledge of the questions beforehand. The contest is not to see how dumb Hank is, but to illustrate that historical knowledge and understanding covers a broad spectrum and that everything your teachers taught you in high school was wrong. Hank, Carrie, and Marco Polo, you may begin.
Alrighty. Now we have a fun edition of Jerks Hate History. I love that song. By the original Jerk, right? Alright. So, today's theme, not from America. And these questions are coming from the History Channel. You can sign up for their History Channel Club daily history newsletter, and just about every day you will receive in your inbox tidbits about history and a daily quiz. And sometimes they just send you advertisement, but it's generally about history. All right, first question. On July 28th, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on which nation following the assassination of Franz Ferdinand? Bosnia, Serbia, the Ottoman Empire, or France?
I cannot talk today. No spaghetti.
That's okay. You can just take a deep breath, relax.
Well, I'm going to say France.
I'd have to agree with that.
Nah, y'all both wrong. Serbia.
Oh,
Yes.
because it happened in Serbia.
That would be the first clue.
The assassination, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I guess they
I don't know. Yeah, it's just to sidetrack just a little bit. We're coming up on the anniversary of the 100th anniversary of the start of World War I.
Oh,
coming up in this year.
Okay.
And yeah, and I'll probably be talking quite a bit about that. In the assassination as well. I just find it interesting that the man that did the assassination was just he was just like a punk kid basically, and it started a world war, and
Wow.
roughly 40 million, 60 million people died all over the world, and it was because of some
right.
some,
And you're right, it was
some crazy anarchist.
Yeah, and you're right, it was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right.
So we are.
Yeah. He just happened. Archduke Ferdinand just happened to be in Serbia, and that was, as you say, it was. That's how war was declared. But
wow, yeah, that would definitely tick people off. That's one small way to do it.
well, there's been lots of assassinations, and
Right.
no wars.
They never end well.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that there's been lots of assassinations, and they don't always end in war.
Oh,
They rarely end in war, actually. So
that's true. Yeah.
so anyway.
But yeah,
Yeah.
people are generally not very happy. All right. So the senior blonde moment. The senior official of Venice. Okay, it's my turn. The senior official of Venice would have been known by what title during the Dark Ages? Consul, Doge, Principe, or Cardinal?
I'm going to go with the Principe.
Yeah. I mean, Venice, Venetian, right? Mm-hmm. I see some connection here, right?
The senior.
This man would know.
Yes,
right?
I would hope he'd know. One with the Opa.
Unless it happened after his time,
Right.
So if he gets it wrong, he's got that excuse.
Well, this is the Dark Ages, so Marco Polo.
Dark Ages. Okay.
Yeah, he post-dated that, didn't he?
Well, depends on what you consider dark. I mean,
Yeah.
the 800s are pretty dark. in
Yeah.
Venice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Good point.
But anyway, I would say Doge
It was Doge. Ding, 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 ding.
or
ding.
Doggy. I don't know if this is exactly
Doggy.
how you pronounce that word.
Doggy. Doge.
Get along, a little doggy.
There you go. Get along, little doggy. Okay. In what ancient city did Alexander the Great take ill and die? Was it Carthage, Babylon, Alexandria, or Tyre?
I am going to say Alexandria.
It's a fair assumption.
Okay. That he died in his own town?
I think so.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. What were the choices again?
Carthage, Babylon, Alexandria, or Tyre?
I didn't think it was any of those. I thought it was Persepolis.
I could look that up, but that one's not on the list. Maybe that's where this is where he took ill and died. Maybe that's.
Oh, and then he dragged himself another 300 miles or something.
That must have been it.
I don't know if the water's so good in Tyre, so I'll say Tyre.
Okay. Actually, it was Babylon.
Golly. Okay.
Oh, man. You did so good last week.
What was he doing in Babylon?
Checking out the women. I don't know.
Yeah, but here's a swimming in the rivers of Babylon.
There you go. There you go. All right. Last question. In 2006, the remains of a man believed to be which apostle were found in a stone vault beneath Rome's second largest basilica? Paul, Peter, Mary. No, Paul, Peter, Thomas, or Matthew?
I am going to say Paul.
Paul, Peter, Thomas, or Matthew? Where are you getting this from? I thought it was James. Well, James is the brother. Didn't they find the box wasn't it James's bones in the...
Well, that may have been a different year. This was in 2006.
Well, yeah, that was the year they found the ossuary, right? It's an ossuary?
See, in Rome's basilica?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting two things mixed up.
Yeah. This one was a stone vault beneath Rome's second largest basilica.
It was Peter. They thought they found Peter.
Actually, it was Paul.
What?
Yes. According to this, it was Paul. Yes.
It's St. Peter's Basilica. Why would they bury Paul in Peter's Basilica?
Because it was St. Paul's outside the walls. It wasn't St. Peter's Basilica. This is the second largest, not...
What? I'm not listening to the question, apparently.
Let me read the description. Maybe I can clear this up. The sarcophagus dates back to about AD 390 and was uncovered in Rome's Basilica of St. Paul's outside the walls, named for the location beyond the ancient walls surrounding Rome's center. And this was the second largest basilica. I think St. Peter's might be the largest.
Okay.
Long believed to be believed to be buried beneath the church's altar, the coffin is now on display for the first time in centuries. The precious cargo, however, is not. Sarcophagus was buried beneath the main altar under a marble tombstone bearing the Latin words Paulo Apostolo Mart. You might need to help me out with that, Mr. Polo, meaning Apostle Paul, martyr. And the basilica rises on a place where, according to tradition, Paul of Tarsus originally buried after his martyrdom.
Well, I'll be darned. All right, I had heard about that, and I guess when I read it or glanced at it or heard it over the radio or whatever, I thought it was in because I guess I heard the word basilica.
You're right.
Silly me.
Right. Well, you may be mixing it up with other because it didn't say it was the only one. It just said.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay. All right.
So
How about
sorry.
that?
I guess I stumped the expert today. Not
No
intentional.
more questions from History.com.
But I got the one right. I'm
You
surprised.
did, Mr. Polo. So give Mr. Polo a hand.
Hey, well.
I did it better than the William Wallace. He got the none right.
Yeah, Mr. Wallace did a really bad job last time.
What a moron.
Well, thank goodness that's over. All right. Well, all right, Mr. Polo, you are welcome to. By the way, how did it come to be that your name became a very popular swimming game?
I don't know. I guess they like the sound of it, and we will call it the Marco Polo. But the polo is also the name of a cologne too. And I wear it all the time. I'm a bit biased, but I like a polo cologne.
Okay.
You name it, I buy it.
So they see you running around on a horse while like hitting something, and then they monogrammed you on their shirts and.
Absolutely, you hear the, and they say, oh, you need to ride the horse and play polo and wear the cologne at the same time, and then you got the whole 9 yards.
There you go.
It is all good.
All right. Well, you're welcome to sit in on another edition of History Strikes Back. All right. Well, this is History Strikes Back for, I don't know how I'm going to recover from that. That was awful. Terrible. Anyway, as was explained in the opening disclaimer, it's not
It's
to
not
show
so much to prove that you're
it's
dumb.
not to show how
yeah.
dumb I am. It's just to prove whether or not I'm actually listening, whether or not I'm paying attention to the history I am learning.
Even the experts get to continue to learn. I mean, you're not. If you were not learning, then you're dead.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, and we're not calling it Stump the Expert anymore, so
Well, there you go.
that's probably for good reason. History Strikes Back from January 12th. I pulled out some things. This is where I pull out some things independently. I've been writing a blog for the last 2-3 years, I guess. Off and on.
Off and on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking a sabbatical. But
Slight sabbatical. Yeah, I've been reposting, dear.
but if you go to nottolateshow.com, and you can, if you're not interested in listening to the podcast or viewing the podcast, I have some or reading book reviews. I have some material on there that's called called Hank's Hysterical Revisions. And I cover a particular day in history and discuss something I try to find things that are relatively unknown or little known. Let's see, where is it here? Okay, for January 12th, one of the more significant ones, probably the ones that you will see for this day, is 1969. Super Bowl III is the Jets won 16-7, and there was a very significant quarterback that played in that game. Do you know who that was, Marco Polo?
Yes, that was Joe Namath. I don't know if he's Italian or not, but he looked Italian, so let's go with that. He looked Italian, so he Mr. Italian.
In 532 AD, there was the Nika insurrection, which I think had something to do with the Emperor Justinian, and roughly 30,000 people burning to death in a stadium.
Aw, that's tragic.
In 1802, Thomas Jefferson was president, and he made a speech to the Weah, I guess how you say it, the Potawatomi and the Miamis. And there is a book called Indian Agriculture in America by R. Douglas Hurt. That was where I was able to actually confirm that he did make that speech at that time. And it was a time when he, in the speech, he actually exhorts the Native Americans to take up agriculture as opposed to hunting. It takes up less space for one thing, and also for another thing, it's also not quite so savage. So,
oh well, that's convenient.
Yeah. I know.
Lack of savagery is good.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure if I were a Weah Potawatomi or a Miami, how I would.
Is that Potawatomi?
Potawatomi. I don't know how I would.
Texas way of saying it, Potawatomi.
I don't know how I would receive that. I don't know what to make of that, or if something would get lost in the translation. And then in 1839, the Cherokees arrive in Oklahoma, courtesy of Andrew Jackson. Some other things I pulled. I've also have some more things here from HistoryOrb.com. Last week we actually found a couple of errors and
yes,
and they just happened to be in the ones that I found. So let's see how we do.
And
this
of
week.
course, it gave us an opportunity to make fun of someone else at their expense.
Yeah.
See, you're not the only person that's not perfect.
Can't get it right all the time, right? Yeah. Something as gray as history is sometimes. It can be very gray. It can be very concrete as well.
Right.
I mean, there are some things that are absolute and some things that...
And something is like the difference between one word and one,
Yes, exactly. And
was she elected or did she move into the position?
Exactly. And that's what I try to help people with by having this show is, kind of help set the record straight and help people independently, search independently and research independently and look in places other than Wikipedia.
Hey, it's not completely bad. My daughter dragged me up for that.
I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. You're not saying anything at all. Yeah, sure. Okay, no hint, no nudge, wink, wink.
On the 12th of January, 1966, Batman premiered on ABC TV.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
At the one with Adam West?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, that's correct. More television. We have 1971, All in the Family premiered on CBS with the first toilet flush.
What? Okay, so that's
what it says here.
That's the significance is the toilet flush, not All in the Family. There was a toilet flush on TV, y'all.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the show, the toilet flush.
The toilet flush.
I think that the Archie Bunker should have flushed himself down the toilet. That would have been even better. I think Ethel, whatever her name was, the wife. Thinking I Love a Lucy. I don't know her name. Edith, yeah. What did the same letter? There you go. Very good. Yeah, there goes Archie Bunker. Bye, Archie, boy.
Somebody just walked out with a lavalier on still.
I think there goes Jeff, and he's looking a little blue on the.
Yeah. In 1933, the U.S. Congress recognized the independence of the Philippines. Some of y'all might remember from the old show format that I was reading a book about the Philippines. I'm still reading it.
You still working on that one?
It's a little long. But if you go to my Twitter, which I mentioned earlier, you can maybe find some of my Amazon updates regarding the books that I am reading. I like this one, 1932, France's Laval government fails. That's all it says. France's Laval government fails.
Government fails.
So typical of France, isn't it?
No, but of course, yeah. All those croissants. They don't know what they're doing.
Finland, in 1918, Finland's Mosaic Confessors Law, West went into effect, making Finnish Jews full citizens. I guess that's something to be proud of in 1918. I guess it's some of the Jew bashing is still going on. Where was it? 1906, Football Rules Committee legalizes the forward pass. And then, this is of historical significance, since this is just over 20 years old. In 1991, the U.S. Congress gave George Bush the authority to wage war against Iraq.
He said, read my lips and no new taxes. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Yeah, that was an oopsie.
Yeah. He did not like a broccoli either, from what I understand.
Is broccoli a particularly Italian sort of dish?
No, not really.
It just sounds Italian.
It just when I say it sounds Italian. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you bring broccoli back from China?
Oh, but yeah, I always do. Yeah, every trip I make, I always bring it back.
So are you the one responsible for pizza?
Absolutely.
All right. I knew I loved you, man.
Marco Polo pizza.
That's it.
It is the number one in the world.
Yeah, I heard it came from China and was brought to. Yeah, that's cool. Man after my own heart.
All right, and then unfortunately, where was it? No. All right, I didn't research a whole lot of these, so you're gonna hear them for the first time coming out of my mouth. And Austria's worst avalanche kills 200. That's pleasant, isn't it? 1954, and then in 1963, Steve Lawrence's "Go Away, Little Girl" peaked at #1.
Go away. Okay.
Have you ever heard that song?
I don't know that I've heard that song.
Oh my gosh!
I think I've heard that song. I also know that Donny Osmond, he's singing that song in the early 70s.
Really?
Indeed. And you can go to Wikipedia, the Wikipedia, whatever you call it. You can look it up there.
Yeah.
See, I was knee-high to a cricket, so all I remember is some cute guy wiggling around in a leather jacket or something.
Very good.
TMI.
What?
I don't know. I just remember it as being a very cheesy song. I think the first time I heard it, I was probably like 5 years old, and I laughed. Go away, little girl.
There we go. Jeff the sound man. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Go away, little girl.
Okay, and in
I vaguely remember that, actually.
here's another France one. In 1860, France decrees Bonaparte family excluded from the country forever. Boy, France just does it over and over again to themselves, don't they? I mean,
Yes.
in the U.S., we
And they wonder why we make so much fun of them.
well, in the U.S., we have somebody that kind of does some things wrong. That can.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we say,
No
"Hey,
names mentioned."
You can stay. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to. We're not going to put you on an island somewhere. I mean, what better thing than to be exiled to an island? I mean, I think that would be great.
Well,
I
it
mean,
depends on the island and what's on the island. Would you want to be on an island that's filled with spiders and snakes? I wouldn't.
I don't know. Might be better than driving in traffic every day.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I don't know. At least driving in traffic every day, you got your cell phone, you got your radio, and you got, just as long as you got air conditioning, you're golden.
All at the same time, yes.
Yes.
Using all three at the same time. In 1896, the first X-ray photo in the U.S. was made by Dr. Henry Smith in Davidson, North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
And then, and one more, 1875, Kwang Su becomes Emperor of China.
Very good.
Wait a minute, what happened to Marco Polo? He's been replaced. All right, that concludes this edition of History Strikes Back. And that's what I have now. Carrie, did you want to say a word or two about where we can be found and in what capacity?
Well, I guess just to review what I said before, if you're watching us now, then you're either watching us on youtube.com or you're watching us at nottoolateshow.com. Excuse me, listening. Oh my goodness, I'm still in that habit. Either nottoolateshow.com or what's the other place? You're listening to us on TFOK. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and any other various means of places.
Thanks very much. Good night.
This is Keisha Carson reminding you that the enemy wants to divide us along racial and religious lines. No matter how many people tell you the Constitution's language is antiquated, it has been perfected, interpreted, and amended, and is still the best document in the world designed for preserving the individual rights of United States citizens. The Ten Commandments have survived thousands of years of criticism and exile. There's no reason to exile the Constitution to a place behind a 21st century Iron Curtain. On behalf of the Not Too Late Show, God bless and good night.